For the narcissist, everything must be on their terms. If they decide they need you for whatever reason, then they want you to be there to attend to their needs. If they realize they're bored of you, or for whatever reason they decide they don't want you around, then they want you to be at a distance to them. And sometimes, once you've been with them for a while, one thing leads to another, and you're no longer together. But even then, one thing narcissists must always have is control. And if they don't actually have control, then they must feel they have control. And once they've had somebody who they considered to be theirs, somebody who they felt they pulled the strings, the emotional strings of that person was their puppet, that person was their submissive, it's really difficult for them to let that person go for good if that person ever provided them something of value. Of course, there are those rare instances where the person might have caused a catastrophic narcissistic injury and the narcissist doesn't want anything to do with that person anymore. But those scenarios, they're quite rare compared to the cases where people don't cause such injuries. And if they don't have control over you, they want to feel they have control over you. So even if they disappear for a while, even if they're living their other life for a while, you might be out of their mind for some time, but narcissists, they take pride in being able to pull the strings of people. They take pride in being able to control people. They take pride in being in that position where they feel in control, even if de facto they don't have control. And one way they get that feeling of having control over you and their other former supplies is by keeping tabs. Keeping tabs makes them feel like you're somehow still a part of their life. They feel that they're still sharing in the energy of your accomplishments and the energy of the things you have going on. It's almost like you're still a part of them because they're sharing in that. If they give their attention to you, even if you're not giving your attention to them, they still feel soothed in their soul because the part of them that you used to fill, they're feeding that part of them. And because oftentimes after they discard you or you discard them or you just break up, whatever happens, because you're not in each other's lives anymore, it's not uncommon. And sometimes narcissists might go some time without thinking about you. But it's not uncommon for one day them to think, oh shit, what's this person up to? I haven't heard or seen this person in a while. I wonder what they're up to. And then narcissists, they get this compulsive need to check up on you. If they can check up on you in person, sometimes they'll do that. And sometimes it's indirectly by bumping into you in places where you both frequent or having other third parties check up on you and feed the information back to them. But a lot of times you're not accessible to them, or maybe they just don't want to be caught out by physically checking up on you or coincidentally bumping into you because they fear you might see through it. So they have this habit of stalking your social media, of seeing what you're up to, so that they know where you are in your life, so that they know where you are in your head, so that they know what's going on with you. And that does, to a large extent, satiate that immediate compulsive need for control. And narcissists, if they've got other good things going on, then sometimes they'll just monitor you and leave it at that. But it's when they don't have other good things going on, or when they have other things going on, but those other things aren't as interesting as you, or the things you have going on, that they tend to pay even more close attention to you. It's almost like you become their focal point again. You become the centerpiece of their world. But, make no mistake, if you're in a very difficult situation, if you're still heavily ruminating on them, If you are not living your own life, then you're not that interesting for them. So then they probably won't be spending too much time focusing on you. They'll just be pleased to know that that's the state you're in. But on the contrary, if you're living your own life and you're doing your own thing, then that's where they start paying more close attention to you. And then they start wondering, how can they get even more control over your life? How can they validate themselves even more through you? Because narcissists, they hardly get validation through achievements. They hardly get validation through accomplishments. Unless, of course, it's the other people's appreciation towards them and the other people's amazement towards them. Okay, that validates them. Narcissist validation comes through people. They like people praising them. They like people being impressed by them. And then on the more negative side, they like controlling people and knowing that they can focus on somebody who's doing better than them, become a part of that person's life, and then make that person go into this inferior position where now they're not doing as well as they once were. For the narcissist, that's a big achievement, because since they struggle to outperform people, since they struggle to live their best life like a lot of other people, what they do is they focus on somebody who has a lot going on for themselves, and they try to take that person down about 3 notches. And then by comparison, the narcissist feels as if they're a high achiever. So that's what narcissists do. That's their natural compulsion. And it starts, once you're no longer in each other's physical lives, it starts with that monitoring you, that keeping tabs on your social media, and sometimes physically keeping tabs, and sometimes keeping tabs through other people. Because it gives them the information to know if either A, you're not doing well, you're still affected by their absence and, the whole shebang, in which case they don't need to take any action. Not unless they want to come in for fun, just to step on you a bit more, which sometimes they do. But it's more when you kind of bounced out of whatever situation you had with them and you're living your best life again. You're doing things for you again. And the narcissist doesn't have very great things going on, because narcissists, they only have short stints where they're feeling good about themselves. They only have short stints where, if they're with a new person, where they're actually enjoying that new person. It's not long-lived. When they're in those short stints of feeling good about whatever, then you're the last thing on their mind. Like, other people are the last thing on their mind because they're fully focused at the thing at hand. But when those short stints take their course, that's when they start focusing their attention on people like you. So social media, checking up on you, these things are what give them the sense of control, because they're feeling that they're sharing in your energy, they know what's going on, and then the next step for them is having some sort of influence over you. Because narcissists, being controlling people, manipulating people as they are, sharing in the knowledge of what you're doing, that's just one step. But eventually they want to have that influence again. It's their influence over you that really validates them. It's that influence over you that really, it's the thing that makes them wake up in the morning, isn't it? Some people say influence. Influence can be positive, but for them it's negative. They want to control you and hinder you. So that's what they do as the next step. If they feel that you are driving a bit fast in your accomplishments, if you are doing things that make them feel envious, they'll usually try to work a way back in to see what kind of influence they can have over you, what kind of influence they can have over those things, with the view, of course, of taking you down so that they can feel uplifted by comparison. Thanks for watching.